Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are looking at a story that, on the surface, is about a local election down in Dallas County, Texas.
Right.
But if you scratch that surface even just a little bit, you find something that looks a lot less like a democratic process and, well, a lot more like a glitch in the matrix.
Or a feature of the Matrix, depending on how cynical you want to be today.
Fair point. I mean, we're working from a really compelling piece of primary source material today.
Yeah, the post-campaign video.
Exactly. It's a commentary video titled Maxine for JP 2026 Post-Campaign Commentary, What Happened?
And it features Attorney Maxine, who is actually the candidate for Justice of the Peace.
Right, along with Dr. Jaleisha Pillow, who served as her campaign treasurer.
And the headline here is just, it's wild.
It really is. We have a qualified candidate, a lawyer actually, who did all the work, got the signatures, got certified, and then was just erased from the ballot.
All because of a clerical technicality that came down to the wire on Christmas Eve?
It's a story that honestly sounds like bureaucratic satire.
It does, but, our mission here isn't just to gawk at a bad situation.
No, absolutely not. We need to understand the machinery that actually allowed this to happen.
Because we aren't just talking about voting.
Right.
We're talking about who actually gets to be on the ballot in the first place.
Yeah, that gatekeeping aspect. And through this deep dive, we're going to explore how process can sometimes just completely override democracy.
And the immense, really unchecked power of local party chairs.
And why the lowest courts matter so much.
So should we set the scene?
Let's do it. So it's
Oh.
summer 2025.
Oh.
Maxine decides she's going to run for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Place 1.
In Dallas.
Right. And from the get-go, the vibe of this campaign is just incredibly human.
It's very grounded.
Exactly. It's described as grassroots in the truest sense. I mean, her headquarters isn't some fancy glass office.
No, it's literally the trunk of her car and her dining room table.
Which is how it should be, right?
Right.
We always say we want normal people to run for office.
Not just career politicians with massive war chests.
Yeah. Maxine didn't hire the, $25,000 consultant class. She put on her sneakers.
But before we get to how the system kind of chewed her up, I think we should establish why she was running in the first place.
Good idea. Justice of the Peace.
Yeah.
It's a title that, at least to me, always sounds a bit antiquated, like it has British origins or something.
It does sound a bit old-fashioned, but in the source material, they frame it as arguably the most critical court for the average person.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, forget the Supreme Court for a second. The Justice of the Peace is essentially the emergency room of the judicial system.
That's a great way to put it, the ER.
Yeah, this is high volume, high impact triage.
So we aren't talking about abstract constitutional interpretations here.
No, not at all. We're talking about immediate, everyday trauma.
Economic trauma, mostly.
Right, because this is where evictions happen.
Exactly. If you're going to lose the roof over your head, it happens in a JP court. And debt claims, too. Like, if Capital One or a debt collector is suing you for an old, say, $4,500 credit card bill.
That happens there, too?
Yes. They also handle Class C misdemeanors.
Which are minor offenses, but
They can still ruin your background check if they aren't handled right.
that's a huge deal for people trying to get jobs or apartments.
It really is. And they handle mental health warrants, truancy. It's immediate community intervention.
So the takeaway for you listening is that this is where regular people interact with the law the most frequently.
Which means if you have a judge in that seat who is just, stamping paperwork and doesn't understand the law.
Or worse, lacks compassion.
Right. You are basically destroying lives on a daily basis.
And that's exactly why Maxine ran. She's a lawyer.
Yeah. She made the point that because these cases move so fast, you need someone who actually knows the statutes.
It's not a place for on-the-job training.
Exactly. So she enters the race. Now, in Texas, like many places, you have a choice when it comes to getting on the ballot.
Right, the application process.
You can write a check or you can do the work.
And the check option is what? About $1,000?
Give or take, yes. Or you can take the work option, which means gathering signatures from registered voters.
For this specific precinct, she needed between 250 and 750 valid signatures.
And Maxine, being a bit of a political novice but a real idealist, chooses the signature route.
Because she wants to actually talk to the community.
Right. And there are these great vivid details in her account. She talks about using this specific green ink for her branding.
Oh yeah, walking the neighborhoods in the Texas heat.
Yes. At one point, neighbors are bringing her frozen watermelon dipped in lemonade just to keep her going.
Frozen watermelon dipped in lemonade.
I know.
That image is so stark when you compare it to the bureaucratic nightmare that happens later.
It really represents the community embracing her.
She wasn't some outsider dropping in. She was literally on their porches.
And she was careful, too. I think this is the most heartbreaking part of the setup.
She didn't wait until the last minute.
No, she submitted her signatures early for a pre-check. She wanted the party to review them.
And this is a critical pivot point. The party actually has a review period for this.
They do. And initially, the system worked.
Right, they found a hiccup.
Yeah, they found 39 signatures on an outdated version of the form.
So they flag it. She says, okay, goes back out, gets 51 more signatures to cover the gap, and resubmits.
And then she gets the green light.
The Dallas County Democratic Party officially certifies her application.
She even checks the Secretary of State's website, and her name is listed there.
She goes to the ballot draw.
Which is such a big deal. The ballot draw feels like the point of no return.
Oh, for sure. You're standing there watching them pull numbers to see if you're first or second on the list.
You order the yard signs, you plan the events, you think you are logged in.
You feel totally safe.
But then comes the conflict, the turning point.
December 23rd.
It's 6:30 p.m.
Pitch black outside. It's the winter solstice, practically.
And Maxine is just preparing for the holidays. She's getting ready to sign off from work.
And she gets an email.
But not to her campaign account.
Wait, really? Where did it go?
It goes to her personal work email.
The one she was probably about to close out for the long holiday weekend.
Exactly. And the email is from the party chair.
What does it say?
It's a notification that her petitions have been challenged.
Challenged by who?
Well, the challenge basically claims that 46 pages of her signatures are incomplete.
46 pages.
Yeah. And the email gives her exactly 24 hours to respond.
24 hours.
Yeah.
And the next day is literally Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I mean, try to find an election lawyer on Christmas Eve.
Good luck. Try to get a judge on the phone.
Maxine tries, right. She calls the Secretary of State's office.
She does. And she describes him as a skeleton crew.
I can imagine.
The people who are technically at their desks are mentally checked out.
Eating cookies, drinking eggnog.
Trying not to get any new files before the holiday. They aren't looking to process complex legal appeals.
She even asks the party chair for a grace period, doesn't she? Like just a one-day extension.
She asks, can we just handle this until after Christmas?
And what did the chair say?
Silence. The chair does not respond to that request.
Wow. So she's just panicking, trying to file legal responses while her family is probably wrapping presents.
Yes.
Huh.
So we need to drill down into the technicality itself, the error.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Because when I first hear incomplete petition, I assume she left off the voters' addresses or maybe forgot to get them notarized.
That's what you would think. But no. This is where we get into the exact details of what went wrong.
The missing 4, she calls it.
Right. So Maxine had gone to FedEx or Kinko's to print her petition forms.
Okay.
And she purposely printed them on larger paper, 11 by 17 paper.
Why?
To make them easier for elderly voters to read.
Which sounds like she's just trying to be accommodating.
Exactly. But in the header field of that blown-up form, there's a box that says, office sought.
Okay.
She typed Justice of the Peace.
Well, that is the office.
It is. But the fatal flaw, according to the challenge, was that she forgot to type Precinct 4, Place 1, right after Justice of the Peace in that specific top header.
Wait, just on the blown-up forms?
Yes, just on those.
But hold on. She's handing this paper to a voter. She's standing right in front of them in the neighborhood.
Right.
Presumably, she's explaining, hi, I'm running for Precinct 4, Place 1.
Yes, but her legal argument was even stronger than that.
What was her defense?
She pointed out that at the very bottom of every single page, there is a notarized oath.
Okay, an oath she signed.
Yes, and in that oath, she explicitly swears that she explained the specific role Precinct 4, Place 1, to every single person who signed.
So the signers absolutely knew what they were signing.
Exactly. The information was on the page. It just wasn't in the top header box.
That feels incredibly rigid to throw out an entire page for that.
Well, that's the difference between substantial compliance and strict compliance.
Can you explain that?
Sure. Maxine's argument is substantial compliance. Basically, I met the substance of the law, the voters weren't confused, my intent was clear.
And strict compliance.
Strict compliance says the rules are the rules. If the header requires the precinct number and it's missing, it's a fatal defect.
Even if it's written at the bottom of the exact same piece of paper.
Even then. And the party chair, and later a judge, ruled that it was a fatal defect.
So despite being previously certified by the party, she is removed from the ballot days before the deadline.
Yep. Which brings us to the system itself.
The party chair and the incumbent.
Right, because we have to talk about the antagonist of this story, essentially, the party chair.
This is an elected position within the party, right?
It is, but they hold immense power over who actually gets to run.
They are the gatekeepers.
Exactly. And Maxine recounts this really revealing conversation she had with the chair before she even ran.
She went to him to introduce herself.
Yes, she did the political thing.
And how did that go?
Well, the chair told her explicitly, we have an incumbent, and we support our incumbent.
Which, I mean, is fairly standard party politics, protecting incumbents.
It is, but then he said something else. He admitted that even if he weren't the chair, he would support the incumbent.
Why?
Because, quote, he's my friend.
He's my friend.
Yes.
So it wasn't about merit or policy. It was a personal relationship.
And this connects to a much broader issue, the gatekeeper problem.
Let's get into that.
If parties protect their incumbents at all costs, shutting down challengers on technicalities, they completely fail to develop a bench of new talent.
A bench?
Yeah. Young lawyers, community activists, if you block them, you have no future leaders.
It creates a system of selection rather than election.
That is exactly what Maxine argued. She actually made this fantastic comparison to corporate HR.
Oh, right. Her HR background.
Yeah. She said, imagine a recruiter. If a recruiter only brings one single candidate to a hiring manager for a job interview, that recruiter gets fired.
Because you have to provide options.
Right. But in this election, the voters are the hiring managers.
And they were only given one option.
Exactly. The party decided to strip the list down to one name before the hiring managers even showed up.
That's such a powerful analogy, which leads to the aftermath, the voter suppression aspect.
Because Jaleisha Pillow, the treasurer, was furious.
I would be too. I mean, she represents the average voter in this scenario.
Right. She did the hard work. She walked the blocks, got the signatures.
And she felt all that effort was just thrown out on a technicality that, let's be honest, should have been caught during the initial review in the summer.
If the review process was actually about fixing errors, yes.
But wait, it gets darker than just wasted effort?
The chilling effect.
Yeah, talk about that, because signatures are public record, right?
They are. In Texas, if you sign a petition to get someone on the ballot, your name is on a list that anyone can look up.
And the voters knew this.
They absolutely did. Maxine had voters literally tell her, I'll vote for you, but I can't sign your petition.
Because they were afraid.
Yes. They said they couldn't be seen going against the party or the incumbent.
That is wild.
They were worried about retribution. Maybe it affects their standing in the community, their jobs, or just how the local judge might treat them.
That creates a terrible atmosphere of fear.
And it perfectly protects the status quo.
Hmm.
If challengers can't get signatures because people are scared and they can't afford the massive filing fees.
The incumbent just coasts.
And the statistics from this specific cycle prove it.
What were the numbers?
A staggering 65% of judicial candidates in Dallas County were running unopposed.
65%.
Yes.
2 out of every 3 judges.
You walk into the booth, you look at the screen for a judge who might literally have the power to evict you.
And there is only one name.
You can vote for them, or you can leave it blank. Those are your choices.
Going back to what Jaleisha said, she called it the smell test.
The smell test, right.
She said that even if this whole thing followed the letter of the law, strict compliance and all that, it just didn't pass the smell test of fairness.
Court democracy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It felt like the decision of who gets to be judge was made in a back room on Christmas Eve.
Not in the voting booth.
So, to summarize where this all ended up, Maxine was removed.
Yes.
The incumbent ran unopposed.
And kept his seat.
So Maxine's campaign ended not by the voters' choice.
No, it was ended by, as they put it, political authority in the furtherance of personal relationships.
Which is such a polite, devastating way to say it.
It is. And why this matters, why we're doing a deep dive on this, is because this isn't just about Maxine.
Right. It's about the architecture of local elections everywhere.
It highlights just how incredibly difficult it is for outsiders to break into the system.
Even when they are highly qualified attorneys who follow the rules.
Even when they bring you frozen watermelon.
Yeah. So I want to leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought today. We are constantly told to vote in every minor election, go down the entire ballot, do your civic duty.
Right. That's the standard advice.
But if the system is designed to ensure there is only one name on the ballot before you even show up,
Have you really been given a choice at all?
Exactly. Is it actually democracy if the competition is eliminated by a typo before the race even begins?
Something to mull over next time you're at the polls.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.